When the marriage ends, everybody talks about the obvious things. Who gets the house? What happens with the children? How do you divide the money? Where are you going to live? But there is another question we don't talk about nearly enough. What happens to a man's health after divorce? Because for some men, when the marriage disappears, something else quietly disappears with it. The person who reminded you about your doctor's appointment. The person who noticed that you were snoring. The person who said, your blood pressure has been high for 3 months. You need to go see somebody. The person who knew what medications you were taking. The person who noticed you hadn't been yourself lately. And suddenly, nobody is watching. Welcome to your daily health briefing. I'm Dr. Albert Takem. This show is here to help you navigate the complex U.S. medical system, one step at a time. Whether you are decoding a new diagnosis, fighting for a referral, or just trying to stay informed, you are in the right place. Let's get into the science. The idea for this episode actually came from my podcast editor. Shout out to he does a fantastic job. We were discussing men's health and he told me something very personal. His father got divorced at 52. 6 years later, at 58, he suffered a devastating stroke. He was left with major disability. He couldn't work. He couldn't drive. Much of one side of his body was affected. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not telling you that his divorce caused his stroke. Medicine doesn't work like that. One person's story cannot establish cause and effect, but his story may ask a much bigger question. What happens when a man who has spent decades living within the structure of a marriage suddenly has to manage his health completely by himself? That's a question worth asking. So, let's delve into the science and see what medicine really has to say about this topic, because it's quite common, as you can imagine. And when you look at the research, there really is something there. So a large 2024 analysis combined 94 studies involving more than 1.3 million people. Compared with married individuals, divorced people had higher observed rates of several health problems, including cardiovascular and cerebrovascular disease. But here is the important word: association. Divorce doesn't magically clog your arteries. We know that. There are many possible explanations, okay? So I'm not here trying to say that people get divorced and they suddenly get heart attacks. Again, there are many possible explanations. Some people may already have poorer health before divorce. There may also be socioeconomic differences. There may be chronic stress. There may be depression, changes in sleep, changes in diet, more alcohol drinking, less exercise, social isolation, and the quality of the marriage matters too. So this isn't an argument that marriage is medicine or divorce is a disease. But something else happens. There is another part of this that I see clinically. Sometimes your spouse becomes part of your healthcare system without either of you realizing it. Guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have said this several times. I love it when a wife comes to the visit with a husband, or when a sister or a girlfriend or a mother, for that matter, says, you know what, I've been asking you these questions and you're not giving me the answers I want, or your answers don't make sense. I'm going to go with you the next visit and ask the doctor myself. Bingo. All of a sudden, I find out things I did not know, symptoms that have been happening, medications that are not being taken, or they have been taken wrongly, or I just find out more medications than was volunteered by the man at the visit. I see that every day. So when I ask the man, when was your last colonoscopy? The patient looks at his wife. When was the last colonoscopy? Was it when we used to live down the street from the McDonald's? What medications are you taking? What's the name of the one I take? The little black pill, the blue one. And the wife looks at her and says, I'm Lodipine. When did you see the cardiologist? Looks at his wife. Wife answers, Doc, he was there 3 months ago. Sometimes I will ask a man whether he snores. Oh, no, Doc, I don't snore. And the wife interjects, oh, yes, he does. I most of the time have to sleep in another room because he snores so much. And by the way, Doc, he does this thing in his sleep where he stops and gags on himself and it looks like he's choking, and then he goes back to sleep. And there, she just gave me the diagnosis of obstructive sleep apnea. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, sir, apparently we need to ask the person who is actually awake when you are snoring. I know it's funny, but there is something serious underneath it. For some men, their spouse has quietly become the chief operating officer of their health. Then the marriage ends. Imagine that system disappearing. Nobody schedules the physical. Nobody reminds you about the prescription. Nobody notices you've gained 25 pounds. Nobody hears you stop breathing while you're sleeping. Nobody says you've been drinking more lately. Nobody notices that you've been depressed for 6 months. And maybe you don't notice either because you are dealing with attorneys, children, money, moving, anger, loneliness, starting over. Your health falls to number 17 on the priority list. And then we also have to talk about the impact on your mental health, because there is another part of this conversation that we cannot ignore, and it's called mental health. A 2025 systematic review examining relationship breakdown and men's suicidality across 30 countries found substantially higher odds of suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts, and death by suicide among separated or divorced men when compared with married men. Now, that doesn't mean most divorced men become suicidal. Of course not. But it does tell us that the relationship breakdown can represent a period of significant vulnerability for some men, particularly around the time of separation. And gentlemen, this is where we sometimes make things worse, because many men don't say, I'm depressed. They say, I'm fine. Bob, how are you doing? I'm fine. They work more, drink more, sleep less, stop exercising, disappear from their friends, and tell everybody, I'm good. You are not always good. And that's okay. All right. So this is a part of the story where we work hand in hand, doctor and patient, fighting our way through this problem. Because let me make something very clear. This episode is not about men need wives to survive. Absolutely not. There are single men who take phenomenal care of themselves. There are divorced men whose health improves dramatically after living unhealthy marriages. There are married men who haven't seen a doctor in 10 years. I know many of them. Human beings are complicated. The message is different. If another person was providing structure around your health and that person is no longer there, you have to deliberately replace the structure. Not necessarily the person. I mean the structure. That's the difference. So this brings us into our action items for today. If you have recently gone through a divorce, a separation, or a major relationship breakdown, here is what I want you to do. Number 1, schedule a physical. Don't wait until something hurts. Get your blood pressure checked. Review your medications. Look at your cholesterol. Check your diabetes risk. Get caught up on age-appropriate screenings. Number 2, rebuild your routine. Exercise, sleep, food, medications, appointments. Put them on your calendar. Your health cannot depend upon somebody reminding you anymore. Number 3, pay attention to alcohol. There is a difference between having a drink and using alcohol to manage loneliness, anger, or stress. Know which one you are doing. Number 4, don't disappear. Maintain friendships. See your family. Join something. Call somebody. Isolation can be very comfortable when you are hurting, and that's precisely why you have to fight it. And finally, number 5, if you are struggling psychologically, say it out loud. Tell your doctor, tell your therapist, tell your brother, tell your friend, tell somebody. You don't receive a medal for suffering in silence. So as we wrap up this episode, maybe that's the lesson from father's story. We cannot go backwards and determine exactly why one man suffered a stroke 6 years after his marriage ended. But we can ask a better question. Who's looking after you now? And if the answer is nobody, then my answer to you is you are. Check your blood pressure, take your medication, get your screening, exercise, protect your mental health, stay connected to people, because losing a relationship is already a major life event. Don't lose your health along with it. I'm Dr. Albert Takem, and that's your Daily Brief. I will see you next episode, because the fight for your health doesn't stop here. This has been the Daily Brief. Medicine is not about certainty. It is about responsibility. Decisions are often made with incomplete information, but they are always made with your safety in mind. In a system that can feel rushed and fragmented, you deserve clarity, continuity, and an advocate who sees the whole picture. I am Dr. Albert Takem, your physician ally, high-level science, human-level care. I will see you at the next briefing, or I will see you in the clinic.